All right, guys. So in today's video, I'm gonna start doing these type of videos where I go into Facebook groups and I start answering questions around financial literacy, about business credit, personal credit, real estate, whatever the case is. I'm gonna go into these Facebook groups and I'll have these screenshots somewhere around here where they ask the question. So the question is, I have so much debt over a plethora of credit cards. I am barely making it month to month, but my credit is still good with a stellar payment history. In the meantime, I have really high car note and was thinking of getting a new car with a much lower note and letting the current car get repossessed in order to lower my bills and try to avoid bankruptcy, or at least avoid it a little bit longer. What will happen to all my current good standing credit cards once the car is repossessed? Okay. So, one thing that stood out right away, she says she has a lot of debt across all cards, but she's still making the payments. So, if she has utilization on the credit cards, it's probably low. It's lowering her score. So her score is probably lower, but she's still making payments. So the first thing I would do in this situation, I would apply for personal loans. Now I don't. She didn't say how much debt, so that can vary. I'm just gonna throw an arbitrary number. That way we have something to work with. I'm just gonna say 30,000. Okay, so she has 30,000 in credit card debt, right? They're all maxed out. Let's say four cards, 30,000. So that's like 8,000 each or something like that, right? They're all maxed out. The reason I would do a personal loan first is because number one, you get a fixed payment, right? You get a fixed payment, a monthly payment, and you get a term. Let's just say, for example, I would do 5 year term, 5 year loan if you can, right? This is if you can, right? I'm just trying to create a scenario. If you could do 5 years, and the reason you now the longer the term, the higher the interest, but you're gonna be paying lower interest anyway because a credit card is 24, 28%, 26%. It's a lot higher. A personal loan can vary if you have great credit, 7.5, 8%, all the way up to 18%, 20%. But either way, it's a lot lower interest rate than a credit card. So that's number one. You get the fixed payment, you get lower interest. Number two, I would do an extended term, 5 years, because it's going to be a lower payment. Okay. So here's the trick. So once you get the personal loan, that is going to increase your score a lot because your credit score is being affected by the utilization, right? So once the utilization goes back up to zero, right, you're at 0% utilization on those credit cards across all those cards. In this example, I'm just throwing out a number. She didn't say how much, 30,000. You paid off 30,000 in credit card debt. Your score goes up because now your utilization is not being affected because they're all down to zero. Okay, you still owe the debt. You just moved it to a different type of debt. You get the fixed payment, you get a fixed monthly payment, you get a lower interest, and you get a lower payment because you're going to try to do you're going to try to extend it out as much as you can. Let's say you get 18%, you're still saving 6%. That's the first thing. The second thing I would do, wait a few months, then I would reapply for another loan. Why do I need to reapply for another loan? You can do two routes. The reason you can apply for another loan is you can do it at a credit union to try to get a lower interest rate. So you can go, let's say you get 18%. If you go with a credit union, now that your score is up, it's going to shoot up 50, 100 points. Because if assuming these cards are maxed out, it's hurting your score a lot, right? So if you get a lower, if you apply at a credit union, you can get a lower interest rate again because you're reapplying for another loan and you're going to get a lower interest rate, probably 10%, 11%. So you went from 26 or 24 to 18 to 18 to 10 to 11. Okay. Now, you can do that route. Or you can then, if you don't have an LLC, get an LLC, get an EIN. Then what you want to do is transfer, get a 0% interest balance transfer credit card, business credit card. 0% interest balance, 0% interest for 12 months on balance transfers and purchases. That's the difference. It has to be balance transfers. What does that mean? It means I can balance transfer debt to the business, to that card, and pay 0 interest. Now you're gonna pay a fee for the balance transfer, like 3%. It's worth it because you went from 24, 18. If you go to refinance the personal loan, 10, and then all the way down to 0. So now you're paying 0 interest. Then that takes that personal loan from the personal and puts it into the business. So nothing is showing on the personal. So your credit cards are at 0. You have no personal loans except for that card note, which we're gonna get to. And then you turn that into 24% all the way down to 0%. Right? So that's what you're going to do. Then before I continue, guys, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification. That way you get notified whenever I post a new video. Also smash that like button. Smash that like button. It really does help with the algorithm. All right. So we started at 24%. Now we're at 0% interest. Okay. Then it says, I want the car to get repossessed. Absolutely not. The worst thing you can do is to get it repossessed. That's going to hurt your score dramatically. It's going to stay on your credit report for a very long time. And all the hard work you did prior to that is going to be lost. So what I would do is I would probably get another job. Okay. I would get another job or a part-time job. Okay. Then depending on what car it is, there's not much information. I would try to put it on Turo, to put it on a hire car or something like that, where you don't have to rent it out all the times a month. You just need to rent it out once, 1 to 3 days to help with that monthly payment. 1 to 3 days, $50, $80 per day. If you do 3 days, that's $240, right? They get their cut. So let's just say it's $180 or something like that. I don't know exactly what their cut is, but put it and rent it out, right? Because you need help making that monthly payment. So you can do something like that to avoid getting it repossessed. And then, or if you want, you could just do it for 1 whole week to get to enough to cover the full monthly payment, and then a little extra so you can put that towards the debt that you have at 0% interest, right? Because let's say it's $30,000, the minimum payment is $300 on that $30,000 because it's at 0% interest. Okay. Now another thing that you can do is a little bit more advanced. I haven't personally done it, but there's ways that you can do like velocity banking to pay down quicker using lines of credit. That's another topic for another day. But essentially, the first thing you want to do is you want to apply for a personal loan, a debt consolidation loan, or a loan that you can refinance all that credit card debt into one fixed installment loan, boost up your score. You can refinance it with a credit union to get a lower interest rate, and or at the same time get an LLC, a business, so you can get business credit cards at 0% debt, offer 0% interest on balance transfers. Transfer that debt all the way over to the business side. Now your personal is good. Then you need to get another job, regardless of whether you put the car on Turo or not. You need to get another job. And then again, I would put it on Turo for 1 to 3 days, just so you can help at least pay half that monthly payment, so you're not so affected. So I would not try to get it repossessed. I would not do that because that's going to mess up your whole credit profile. It's going to mess it up for a very long time. You won't be able to get homes. It's just all the hard work you did prior to that is going to go to waste, because then you got this repossession on your credit report. So that's what I would do in this situation, guys. Let me know in the comments if what you would do in this situation. I will have the screenshot somewhere up in here. Let me know in your situation. Let me know what you would do in this situation. That's my time. My name is Toby Rosario. Peace.